Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am the Down Under Maker. How is everybody this morning? We're waiting on an imminent Steve Builds raid in, so we won't get too much going straight away. Just a quick hi and make sure everything's actually working. Now, I actually managed to hit go live at the right time this week because I have a big sticker about that big to say, hit go live, you idiot. Unlike last week. No, I'm just seeing there's a few people saying hi and all that sort of stuff. So just bring up chat so I can see who's here. Currently got Mad Dog Jeff. We've got Nick. You figured out Down Under Maker's secret. His mascot looks like a cute koala, but as soon as it opens its mouth, you would see its ferocious drop. Okay. We've got Miko. Who else have we got here? We've got Brad as well. So any moment now, we will get Steve Builds come through. Hi, Kegel, and hopefully a whole bunch of extra people. I am going to be very heavily pushing click like, click subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. So if you haven't already done that, please get in before the rush. That would be amazing. Today, it's going to be, like I said on the description, a YOLO All The Screams. Beardy, good morning. Yeah, we're going to be YOLOing all the things. I'm going to try to get the box turtle to actually complete a print. I got really close the other day and then things let me down. So yeah, well, that's what I managed to get to. It's getting there. Very, very close. We're going to also be changing a couple of... Is the other mascot a drop Joey? Possibly. I do have a whole bunch of other AI generated images that I've got around the place. I might actually swap around what I've got on my slicer print beds to one of the other logos, but yet to be decided. The other thing we're going to be doing today is, do you remember a couple of weeks ago I had some issues with the printing the clear pieces for my buttons? Well, I managed to solve it, and I'm going to show you guys what I did in order to work out what was going wrong and why. So hopefully that will be a little bit enlightening for some people, and well, some of you may already know it. I'm just waiting for that raid to come in before we start doing too much. How is everybody this morning? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bearded Printer, he's been doing lots of Fusion type tutorials. I also just got a 350, it's a budget formbot kit. Yeah, if it's the formbot kit, any of the button heads, just be really gentle with them. It's the same with the Cyborg. The button heads are a little bit soft and easily stripped out. Oh, here's Steve's raid. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I am the Down Under Maker. I'll give you a few moments to get your bearings and say hi and settle and all that sort of stuff. And while you're doing that, if you could please click like and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be amazing. I'm just this short of 250 subscribers, and I'm working my way towards 1,000 so I can do all of the pro streamer stuff. Everybody say hi. Hi, Papa. Hi, TJ. Old man of the, presumably the corn. And Bill, long time no see, my friend. So, quick recap for everybody who's joining from Steve's raid. Today we are going to be YOLOing a lot of stuff. I haven't done a huge amount of prep because I just wanted to get this done with you guys on stream. We're going to be doing a speed test on the end of 5 to see how fast it can actually go extrusion wise. What do you mean GM 830p? Oh, no idea what's going on. Phil combs his hair up because he's short of 250. Yeah, that still short. Everybody needs to click like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, I'm cursed with a double crown, gentlemen. I keep my hair, but it's a double-edged sword because it means that everything grows up and in weird angles. Hi, Jimmy John. Hi, Kenneth. Hi, Questionable. So on the end of 5, we're going to be replacing 2 parts, which is like a quick couple of minutes, just unscrewing and rescrewing so that they match the rest of the color of the printer. We're going to be starting the box turtle print to see if we can actually get it to complete. Jimmy John, in case you didn't see where I got to, that's where I got to. And then the dog walked through the cable, and yeah, I was sad. And at some stage during everything, once we've got everything going, I'm going to bring up the slicer profiles, and I'm going to talk you through what I did to find why I was having problems with printing my clear parts from a couple of weeks ago when I was printing the buttons to go on the front of the Ender 5. So let's get started, shall we? First thing we'll do is we'll jump across to Chrome and hope it actually loads this time. It doesn't look like it's loading, so give me a sec. Now what happened this morning, I did mention it briefly in Steve's stream, was I had a incident where one of my puppies decided it would be good fun to chew on the HDMI cable that I normally connect from my my USB hub thingy to the third monitor. They ate it, which means, and without the 3 monitors, how I've got everything laid out just doesn't work. I'm currently looking at myself on stream, which really freaks me out. So please bear with me while I fix this up. I need to go here. And then I need to go into OBS and quickly change that to that one. And yes, there we have it. Let's turn off Super Slicer because that's not what we need right now. It must be Prusa Slicer. Where's Prusa Slicer? There we go. That's better. So hopefully you guys can see everything that's going on. I'm going to try adjusting that, see if it breaks anything. Doesn't look like it's going to. So what we've got going on at this point is I have already loaded that file onto the box turtle, and I'm just going to wake up my printer, turn the lights on, all that sort of stuff. And for those who don't know, Mainsail has now pushed version 0.15. What the high version is, I can't remember. But they pushed the 0.15 version, which means the AFC add-on is now baked right into Mainsail, which is awesome because I was having all sorts of trouble, even though Jimmy John tried to help me to actually get it to work. I was just getting a black screen every time I followed the instructions. Wasn't a big deal. I just waited for the push that they'd said was coming. So we have this all ready to go. So let's just quickly check everything. That's all looking good. And let's YOLO this. So we're going to go to G-code files and box turtle and print. Now, it's not going to be easy for me to show you guys this, I don't think. So I'm going to try something, if you can bear with me. I'm actually going to turn around my overhead cam and see if I can point it at the printer without too many issues. The easiest way probably to do that one. And then this. I'm trying not to make you guys seasick at the same time as doing all of this. And then I need to do this. And of course, this now means that there's no overhead cam. Now, I can't see what's going on the camera very well. I think that's probably going to be about what I can achieve at this point. Now, am I getting any errors? It says no. It set my total number of tool changes to 0. And let's get this and transform. Rotate 180, so it's the right way up. Okay, so let's go to, and I'm also going to have to change it here. Now this is going to be fun next week when I have to fix all this back up again. But it does mean that you can see the printer at least. Okay, so the toolhead's just woken up and it's heating. And as you can see on the clipper screen, it should all be there. Let's go to this view. And that also needs changing. So hopefully now everything is the right way up for that printer. Now, bottom right-hand corner of this screen, you should now be able to see that, which is the Ender 5, which I already managed to set up as an easy to see thing. Let's go to here, make it the wide shot because I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on that printer. We'll leave the Voron going at this stage, guys, and I'm going to head over to the Ender 5 and I'm going to do that quick part replacement that we need to do. Grab all of my screwdrivers except that one because I don't need it. Okay. So, hi. One of my viewers very kindly pointed out to me that I hadn't updated the spreader supports to match the rest of the theme of the printer. So after they mentioned that, it's been bugging me ever since. So we are going to make that quick change, and I need one more Allen key because I don't have the really big. I hope that's the right size. If it's not, I'll have to find one. Nope, that's not the right size, Phil. Is it this one and I've got it in the wrong spot? Nope. This is the one piece of preparation I didn't do because I thought I had all the Allen keys in place, but I do have my big Allen set available right here. That drawer, Phil. So let's get that Allen key. Seeing as the big printer's doing something interesting, I'll leave that up. So what this does is it basically, the spreader bar is kind of ancillary on this setup, but it does help when the printer's going fast just to make sure that the frame stays a little bit more rigid. There we go. And in typical Creality fashion, it's 3 different sizes of screws that they used in the original build. So you have to have 3 different sizes of Allen key or driver to be able to make the changes. And this one, oh no, it's only 2 in this case. My apologies at Creality. Now this takes a little bit of persuasion from memory. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but Box Turtle is currently going quite berserk as it loads up the filament. And it's now doing its purge. Now, hopefully the CPAP isn't too loud, but for me here right now, that's crazy loud. I'm just going to have a look at the geometry of this to remind myself that is that way. So it should be a twist. Ah, so it's I don't remember having to take anything else off to get this installed. So as long as I can get it out of there, it should just raise it up. Let's get the persuader. Now, of course, while I'm doing all of this, I can't see what's going on in chat. So I'm hoping that Nick is behaving himself. This is not as easy to remove as I thought it was going to be. These parts have been on here for over 3 years, so it's kind of interlaced into it. I don't remember having to take any other parts off though. So that's loose. It's definitely loose. So there's no more screws actually holding it in. I think it's just the geometries inside the extrusions is holding it in. What's going on with the box turtle? That looks like it's going. Not quite sure why I'm getting a rattling noise, but I'm getting a small rattling noise. Oh no, seems to have resolved itself. Now, for those who are interested, I run my CPAP normally at just 10% when I'm printing ABS and on all first layers for all filaments. And then I have it ramp up on PLA, and all the rest of the filaments I like to just leave it spooled at 10%, just so that it's rotating. It takes a long while to spool up to full speed, like over a second. So what that means is if you were to leave it off, you've got that full second to wait before the cooling kicks in. And rather than have to wait all that time, I instead, in theory, this should now be loose. I'm probably doing myself a huge hassle right now by taking this screw all the way out, because I'm going to have to retension everything. But I can't for the life of me work out how I'm supposed to... Ah, there we go. It does come out if I do that. So which part was that one? That's that one. So just showing you on camera. This face goes into the extrusion, that face goes into an extrusion, and that face goes into an extrusion. So it is all locking everything nice and rigid together, but that does make life a little interesting for the installation process. So that way around. Ah, so it's captured off that nut. That's what's causing the hassles. So let's get this all put back together. Let's put the tensioner back into place. Which screw is the tension for that one? Now, the good thing, which I can't actually easily show you guys, is that when I did this the last time, I made sure to mark the extrusions before I took these screws out. So it's actually really simple for me to line this up. So that should mean that tensioning is actually quite straightforward. I apologize if that has got awful loud, but it's a necessary evil. There we go. One tight. I was right the first time. 2 tight, 3 tight. Now, put the screws back into here. What's going on in chat? Projects is here and left. That's fine. Alex is a little unwell at the moment. He's having some surgery. Now, anybody who is a friend of Alex, please do me a favor. He really, really, really enjoys instructional videos of female rugby players teaching you how to play rugby. So please send him any YouTube shorts or YouTube reels you can find so that he can enjoy it. I know he'll really appreciate that. That might not have, yeah, it's moved a little bit. So what's happened is I've not quite got it lined up exactly in the right spot. That's better. Now I'm trying to do all of this over my, so you guys can still see over my shoulder as much as possible. Now the extrusion's tapped for that screw and for this screw. Retighten these. Now I've got it all set up. Yep, double checking, and it's definitely all aligned now. Now, I just noticed that somebody said that the active noise cancellation is catching the CPAP, which is nice. I'm talking nice and loud to hopefully make sure that it does warp out anything that you can hear. Yeah, the servo CPAP mod is nice, but I've seen some issues with that too. So when I tried it, I was having all sorts of problems with the servo stalling out on the airflow. I think it needs more of a butterfly flap rather than just a flap. So let me explain. The one I used was a flap like this that controlled the airflow. What it needs is to be hinged in the middle so the airflow is acting on both sides of the rotation point so that it's less strain on the servo. So when or if I ever get the chance, that's what I intend to do, is to modify the design I was using so that it's more of a hinged in the middle kind of setup, so it balances the loads. Plaster's Discord with rugby, that would also be good. I'm just catching up on chat. Now, just a quick reminder for anybody who is new here, please like and subscribe. It would be amazing. Certainly helps my stats. I'm just a fraction short of 250 subscribers, and picking up a big stream like Steve's this morning would definitely have a few people, if they stuck around long enough, who are new here, who should be able to help me over that 250 mark. So getting back to what I'm doing over here, we need to just quickly loosen the far side and then work on it. So I'm going to actually duck across to the far side of the printer and kind of sit in the corner. Something's going on with the box turtle. It's pausing by the sounds of it. Unknown command MMU tool change. $253. Thank you to those 6 new people. That is amazing of you. Okay, something's going on with this. Remove set AFC tool changes from your slicer. Now this should be the same file I did the other day and it worked. It just went ka-chunk. So, don't know quite what's going on here. Let me just make sure I did print the same file as last time. G-code files. Let me have you join me here. Cancel. Now let's first of all go back to this console and see what it's saying. It says here, set AFC tool changes from your slicers. Okay, so let's double check this. Moonraker needs to be 0.9364 or higher. Moonraker. It's 0.124, so we are higher than that, so that's not that issue. Let's go back to console. And set AFC tool changes is deprecated. Remove it from that's the one we just tried to print. Let's go right click. Let's go edit file. Control F. Set _ AFC. I can't see any. Bring chat back up to see if anybody in chat's got any ideas. I don't think I have Happy Hair installed on this machine anymore. Let's have a look. Oh, I do. So let's go to printer CFG. Hi, Killer. Let's do this the sensible way. Let's reslice it and send it from scratch because we can check very simply here. Let's go to slicer. And let's have a look at this. We need to change all of these to PLA. Okay, so they're all set to PLA. First things first. Next of all, we need to go into Box Turtle will use this. And people were saying they wanted me to have a different bed logo. So let's do that while we're here. We're gonna go edit this preset, load. Now, Projects in Dad's Garage has done a video all about this, so I won't go over that again. People can watch it. Here we go. Change filament doesn't have that, so it shouldn't be there. So let's go here. Let's go to downloads, because I've downloaded this a few times. Now, I'm not going to bother standing here for 10 minutes changing the colors around on the slicer. It's just going to have the 4 colors that are loaded. So that's there. Now, for some reason, it isn't seeing the printer. So let's go back into here. Now, you guys can't see this because it's an overlay, but I'm just telling it to connect to my Voron. Test complete. Okay. So slice plate. Print, upload and print. And again, it's on an overlay surface, so you can't see it. But if we go back to my Chrome, it is going to do another YOLO. Let's get that existing turtle off the bed. And we'll see what happens. Hi Plague, hi Maker Viking. Doesn't seem like anybody else has started talking. Make sure the processing in Moonraker is turned off as well. Moonraker.conf. Now I'm going to leave it for now because I don't really want to have to reboot it. And we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, then I'll go through the reboot. Which camera is that? Oh, it appears there's a webcam on my Voron we could be using. That's going to be very blurry because it's done through the very blurry acrylic. And my CPAP pipe came off. I'll do that once it's finished the QGL. Now, one of the reasons I wasn't terribly sad about having to do the replacement on the parts on the ender was that one of the parts was already cracked anyway. That is the Allen key. Not that Allen key, it's the black Allen key. No. There. That should be fixed. Blue part, I need to adjust that. Let's go that one. So, what's everybody been up to this week? I know a lot of you just come from Steve's stream. That went in far more easily. Now let's just quickly check on the printer as it starts. Hi, RJ. The interesting thing, Jimmy John, is I got as far as I did in the other print without having to make that adjustment. So I'm more than happy to make that change, but I was just trying to see if we could get it going without having to reboot the printer. And I've been having problems with the Z height calibration. Even now it looks a little bit too close. Let's get back to this other printer. It's doing its thing. Now, for anybody who's not aware, Jimmy John in chat is one of the Box Turtle developers. He's done a lot of work on the software side. And I have very great respect for what he's saying. And like I said at the beginning and in the introduction, this stream is a little bit YOLO because I've got lots of things I want to try and do. And we'll see what happens at that layer change. If the layer change bombs out again, then we will most definitely make the adjustments he's suggesting. It's a little harder from this angle to see whether I've got this all lined up. That's actually looking pretty close. Tighten that one. And that one. Extra tighten on this one. And back to the others. And I may have lost one of the screws. It looks like I have. I know I've got spares. Oh no, there it is. Still stuck in the old part. Sorry, I know I'm a lot quieter than I normally am. I can normally ramble on a lot better. I'm just trying to concentrate. And we are juggling lots of things, lots of moving targets right now. 1, 2. Now, this dimension here shouldn't be affected because it's all bolted down quite tightly. And these are threaded holes, so it's pretty hard to knock it out of alignment. That's all fine. That's all fine. Let's power it up. Okay, so like I said, Jimmy John, if this does bomb out, then quite happy to go back into that, and we'll do it the way you're suggesting. I'm not discounting anything you're saying here. So let's get rid of the Allen keys. Don't need those anymore. Now, I did a little experiment. I am using Cartographer Touch, and since I did an update, and a few people have reported the same thing, the repeatability it's fine. It's just that the height, for whatever reason, isn't. So I've actually been speaking to my friend who used to be part of the team, see if he's got any input on it, because the cartographer guys seem to say that everything I'm doing is not right, but I'm not doing anything that their instruction manual doesn't tell me to. Kind of the opposite of what I'm doing right now. So we've got the Voron going. It's going to hopefully hit that next, it's going to hit the first filament change in a few moments. I've already uploaded the G-code file to the Ender 5 for the speed test. I was going to do this off stream, but I realized like 2 layers into it that my hot end hadn't been properly hot tightened, so it was leaking. The other thing I did off stream was I did quickly make a small adjustment to the bed. The bed leveling, because the back of the bed was a little bit too high compared to the front. So I've done all that as well. So hopefully I haven't messed anything up with regards to that. Now let's jump across to the Ender, because there's one thing I need to jump into here and change, and that is the maximum acceleration needs to be set to 7,000. So that's coming up to temperature, and I can do that, which zooms us in so we can see things a little better. Just in time to see that blob come off the nozzle. Now I'm probably going to change things around a little bit so that the nozzle doesn't reach full temperature until the bed does. I might set a staging temperature of like 150 degrees. So what's it doing here? Everything's just waiting for the bed to come up to its full temperature. Yeah, I might set the nozzles to have a staging temperature of like 150 degrees so it doesn't dribble too much, and then go from there. Waiting, waiting, waiting. We are currently at 53.5. And I'm just going to stand here for a moment, ready to adjust the Z height just in case I didn't get it exactly on right. I might be a little too close, I think. Yeah, that was fractionally too close. That's set up quite nicely now. So what it's going to be, it's doing the standard speed test that's built into Orca and into Super Slicer. It's currently printing a little bit of a brim, and then it'll ramp up its speeds as it goes. I could probably up the square corner velocity to 7 on this as well. Something's wrong, it should have changed by now. You're right, it should have changed by now. Okay, so we're going to have to cancel that print. Let's go to dashboard. I can't see anything erroring, so let's just cancel the print. Stop. And let's go to here and just check, did I have any Z height adjustments set at this point? No Z height adjustments set at this point, so let's go. Restart, and I'm just going to reboot the whole machine. It hasn't been rebooted for a couple of days. I probably should have moved it away. Hi Steve, I managed to start on time and hit go live, so I'm on a win this week. So now, Jimmy, what were the changes you were suggesting I make in Moonraker? So AFC is there and definitely installed. And here is Happy Hair. Comment out the MMU server section. Done. And saved. Anything else? Restart Moonraker and you've got to re-upload your G-code. Okay, so let's save and restart. Okay, that's all live. Now, dashboard, I'm going to home all. Actually, this is going to end up in, that would have ended up in a world of hurt because there's the print still on the print bed and it would have crashed the cartographer into it. For those of you who don't realize the way a cartographer works, it wouldn't have seen that the print was still on the bed. Okay, so let's do a quick QGL while we're waiting and go to Orca Slicer. Orca Slicer. And go print, upload and print. Now I normally get a 2 of 5 retries before it's happy. I set my tolerances quite tight. Oh, missed it. Only just. 7523 and the target 7500. And what did we get that time? 1887 with a target of 7500, so that's okay. Total number of tool changes set to 0, so that's all starting up. Oh, also AFC will only automatically track tool changes if there's a purge or prime tower, something to do now. To do with how Orca Slicer puts stuff into the G code. Ah, it's worth knowing. This ender is still slaving away at its default base rate. So I am going to do something you're not really supposed to do, and I'm going to override the speeding clipper just to get the skirt out of the way, and then I'll reset it to normal for the actual speed test part, because it's only currently doing the skirt. And I've just realized we're already almost an hour in. But we're getting stuff done, so that's awesome. Again, a reminder to anybody who hasn't already done it, please subscribe and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and what it does for me is it gets me closer and closer to that magical 1,000 subscribers. And then I can turn on all the things to make me a pro streamer. And it looks like I have definitely solved the nozzle dribble that I was getting from around the ultra high flow add-on at the bottom of the hot end. I was getting just a little bit of filament oozing out from the threads. So, but I've hot tightened it since then, so that seems to have solved that. Now, in principle, I should be able to get something close to no box turtle theme questionable choices, no, but I do have the AFC add-on because that's now part of main sale. Is the theme built in now? Themes is actually over here from memory. doesn't appear to be in here as a default thing. That's all doing. The printer is coming up to temperature. No, it's not. I don't think it actually sent the print to the printer. Upload and print. And I'm getting a big HTTP error. Let's do something sensible. Let's go here. Test connection. Connection to Octoprint is set correct. Let's test here. It says it's in printing mode, but nothing's... Oh, it's waiting for the bed to cool down. Why was it waiting for the bed to cool? I don't know, guys. If you have a quick look, you can see that the bed is currently 74.5 degrees on its way to 60. I'm not quite sure why it got that hot, but it did. So let's just go with it. I know why it got that hot. I've just resliced this for ABS because I didn't check something. Let's go here and to slicer. When I changed printers, because it was originally set to the Ender, I didn't check that I'd set it back to PLA. So that's been fixed. So let's restart the printer. Let's go slice plate. Okay, so the speed test component started, so I'm going to hit reset on the speed. So it's doing to the correct speed. Okay, there we go. It's now in speed test mode on the Ender 5, which you guys can't see, so I'll go to there for you guys. Box Turtle PLA, upload complete. It's now gone into heating. Let's just check the target temperatures are set correctly. Yes, they are. The bed's set to 60. So we are making progress, guys. Sorry about the confusion. Go back to that one so we can see everything going on. So we've got the overhead cam pointing at the Voron. We've got the side cam pointing at the Ender. You've got me here. Hi. And I'm just double checking something on the Ender. Didn't change. Okay, we still got square corner velocity of 7 and accels of 7,000. Now, when we finished putting the Ender together, for those of you who haven't been to my streams recently, we did an acceleration test and we successfully proved that we can sit at 7,000 quite happily. If we go to 7,300, then it starts to skip steps. So that's why we're setting it to 7,000, just giving ourselves a little bit of a buffer. At the end of the day, this is an open printer and it's running V-wheels. Until I can afford to get myself some rails for it, that's how it's going to be. Although having said that, I do have a suitable X-rail, so I need to do some engineering and design some plates to go here and on the other side, which will then let me play with putting a rail on. But I need some idlers to make that work. Let's see if I can zoom that one in a bit. So let's go to here now. And we are at 55 and 220. Oh, it's the Ender. That's the one we want. We're still waiting for that heated bed to come down in temperature a little bit. Waft some air in. Now today the outside temperature here is already 34 degrees Celsius. And while I do have the aircon on, it doesn't really blow into this area. So hopefully that's turned over some air in the temperature in the chamber. What's Jeff and Nick saying? The AT Art Repo. Okay, I'll have a look for that. Is it getting hot in here or did you slice for ABS? We already fixed that bit. No, you do not want me taking off my clothes. I'm a lot slimmer than I used to be, but it's still not pretty. So that's going. Okay, so while we wait for the Voron to sort itself out, let's have a look at something different. Not that one. We're going to need this one, I think. Now, I need this one. I need this one. And I need this one. I have been on a quest. I have been doing my level best to print as close to transparent in PETG as is reasonably possible. This was an early experiment. And it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit milky and I adjusted some settings. I eventually managed to get to the point where I've got this, and it looks a lot milkier on the camera than it is in reality for the human eye, because you can see all those lines really clearly on the camera, which you can't very easily see with human eye. But it was clear enough that you could pretty much read text through it. Let me see if I can replicate that. There we go. There. So you can actually read through it. So it's getting there transparency-wise. Now the problem was that I was having with the setup was that when I was printing, it was doing something strange. Now, it's really hard to see, but you can see that there's a block there. Now that's supposed to have a cutout in it that's to connect onto the buttons on the various controllers I got. This is what it's supposed to look like. I get to focus enough for you to see it. Maybe if I put something behind it. There, that's better. So you can see it's got that cross in the middle of it that it's supposed to actually interface with the push buttons. I've put the push buttons away somewhere. Yeah. Now this is for an upcoming project as well as some other things I've got going on. But it's basically they're supposed to fit onto these push buttons. There you go, you can see the cross quite happily there. So the quest is to have nice transparent buttons, so to let as much light through as possible, but also to get everything so that it will actually fit. The problem was I was having like I showed you guys, I was having the block actually, it was all sealed up and there was no cross in there. Was it detect thin walls? No. I can't actually remember which setting it was, if I'm honest with you, Nick. But what I can remember is that I used this function to actually work out what was wrong. Now, Prusa Slicer, Orca, and Super Slicer all have this same feature. They're hidden in slightly different locations across each of these slicers, but you can compare two different profiles with each other. So I'm going to close Orca. Actually, I'm not going to close Orca. I'm going to just close that. I'm going to minimize Orca. Close that. And I need Prusa Slicer. I'm going to go to... No, that's not the one I want. Now, the way I have it here, guys, is I have it set so that why is Prusa Slicer not showing up? Ah, that's why. There we go. So where was I going with this? I have it set up somewhere. Anyway. I was going to say I have all of my slices on one scene in OBS, which means that I can then click on that one button and I can just pick between the slices by making one turned on or not turned on in the camera view. So if I was to go into here and then at the top of the screen here, compare. Now compare which profile with which profile. Clip at G with, I saved over the old one, doesn't matter. But anyway, what this allows me to do is it allows me to see side by side each of the settings. And as you can see, let's have a look at fill pattern right now. Oh, you can't see it because this is an overlay surface. Let me try this. This is a coding thing with the way Super Slicer and Prusa Slicer and Orca Slicer all do it. They have this thing called an overlay surface. And when you have an overlay surface, it's not visible as part of the application to the way it's rendered on OBS cameras. So if I project the whole screen as if it's what I'm looking at on my monitor, you get to see this. That's what I'm doing right now. As you can see here, I can see that the filter pattern for clip at G is set to aligned rectilinear versus the other print profile, which is one of Prusa's standard ones, which is set to grid. And I am going on the record, grid is best. I don't care what anybody else says. Grid is the best at infill. It looks like the Voron is doing its bed leveling. So yeah, the way I actually found out what was going on is I went through all of the profile very, very carefully, and I looked for things that weren't the same. And it was only like 10 parameters between the two different clear settings that I was using. And that's how I worked out which one was actually the anomaly. So if you're having difficulties working between two different print profiles, compare. Find one that you know works and you're happy with in terms of that specific feature, and then compare it to the one that you're trying to use and is not working correctly. And then you've got this that you can do to actually compare between the two. I'd struggled for nearly 2 weeks to work out why I was having that problem. And it just came to me one day, why don't I just compare the two profiles? So the original profile I was using was, I think it was Stefan from CNC Kitchen. He's got a profile that he's uploaded to printables, and that's what I was working from. And that was what was actually closing off the hole. And when I compared it to this other setting, it was different setting for this one feature, and that's what actually solved things. So the box turtle print is now doing its initial purge. Let's go back to this. You can see also that the Ender 5 is very nicely moving around at this point. This is probably as fast as I would have allowed the previous setup to go with just the standard Revo. Let's see what it says we're currently printing at. Instantaneous flow rate. It says we're currently doing an instantaneous of about 25 millimeters cubed. In theory, according to the advertising stuff for this toolhead, it's good for 40. So we'll see what happens. Or is it 36? Anyway, it's somewhere up in that way. It's a lot faster than I was able to get previously. Going on in chat. You saw somebody with crazy clear prints. It was either transparent, catchy, or PLA. Yeah, Steve, the problem I've got with setting this all up this morning, a dog literally ate the HDMI cable that normally runs from the computer to the third screen, and everything's out of whack. The monitors changed order because of everything that changed. I didn't want to mess with it, so I'm doing what I can to keep up. Oh, it's a fill pattern. Okay. Very good, Nick. Yeah, doing your best not to dox yourself is the best way to do it, and best is still not doxing any of your viewers. I haven't been able to do a Creality yet so far, but then again, I do my best not to actually show anything on my screen that could possibly do that. The dog ate my HDMI cable. I threw it out in disgust, otherwise I would prove it to you guys. I have 3 beagles. I've shown them on stream before, I won't bother again now. But yeah, I've got 3 beagles, and let's move this chat over here so I'm talking to you guys on camera rather than... There we go. It was a dingo. Okay, we were having this chat on Armour 3D printing the other day about the dingo. Did Lindy Chamberlain's baby really get eaten by the dingo? And amongst other things. And we're talking about the size of crocodiles. So yeah, that conversation degenerated fast. So the box turtle is doing its thing, and I've just seen that the print has let go. So let's go here and cancel. Main menu, move 100 mils up in Z. Ow, that's hot. I'm just going to put some bed glue on. It's been a little while since I've done it. Give me another, let's go. That's not the right way, Phil, that way. This PEI sheet is pretty due for replacement, but the kids are getting me one for Christmas, which is why I'm not going to print. Box Turtle PLA. The one at 1128 would be the right one. And this shouldn't take too long now because the temperatures are pretty close to what they were before. Chat. Have you seen any good cars roundabout lately, Phil? Okay, Brad, we'll leave that alone. While I was chatting on the Discord with Killer Prince and no, not Killer Prince, with Armour 3D Printing and a few others. He was live on his YouTube, and I was driving. I wasn't looking at my screen. I was just chatting, just as if I was chatting to anybody else in my car. And the lady in front of me was texting and driving. It was really obvious. I even called it out. The lady in front's texting while driving. And then about 20 seconds later, she crashed into the roundabout. You always use an old plate until you get prints reliable. Yeah, it's certainly a good safety measure. I always do my first Z-Home on a new printer with an old piece of spring steel, so that if I do crash into it, it's not going to matter. And that ender is looking pretty good at this point. Let's go there. So let's go there. So yeah, this lady crashed into the roundabout right in front of me, and the roundabout's here. Now, I know Americans don't understand what roundabouts are. This roundabout is probably a circle in the middle of the road of maybe 25, 30 feet across, and it's got a nice flower bed in the middle of it. and she basically tore up the flower bed. We need like a trainer nozzle for initial Z homing. I actually do know some people who home without the nozzle installed for their first Z home. So it's also possible. We all have a build plate lying around at the bottom of the benchy and a cube etched into it. You're right. Let me see if I've still got it here. I have a drawer where I keep all this stuff. So I'm not sure you can see it on this one. Let's go to that one. So just here, something stuck to the bed way too hard and actually pulled the sticker right off. So that one's got a nice wall wound, but I can still use the textured side, so that's not too bad. That's my pretty PEO sheet, so there's nothing wrong with that one. I just keep it to the side so I don't destroy it. But check out that sucker. Check out those shiny smooth lines where the nozzle just gouged it out. And benchy! So yes, I am part of Mix Meme. And I think I am now well and truly beyond what the hot end is liking, because it's starting to peel off the print bed on the end of 5. So what are we at? We are currently at 35. So let's go pause. The Voron, I'm just going to quickly check the Voron Z height, and I might make that little adjust live. Yep, it's going to need another 0.05. That one. Actually, I'm going to YOLO and go 0.1. And that's immediately a lot better. So that's doing its thing. Let's go here and go cancel print. Did I just shoot the wrong camera? I think I did. Yep, 1 minute guys, sorry. Not that I need that camera right now anyway, so let's go here. Okay. So, you can safely ignore the bit at the top, because that's obviously well and truly out of spec. But if we have a look here, it's about here that we start having difficulties. And if I get my ruler out, this is the one that comes with the most. It looks to me like we get to 34 millimeters before we get any difficulties. So, just checking the time, got about another 40 minutes. let's go to slicer. And then let's go into calibration. That's Prusa slicer, that's not Orca slicer. So if we go into calibration and we go more and we go max flow rate, oh, it doesn't have all the instructions and help on this one. Tutorial. Now that's popped across to my Chrome, so let's go here. Scrolling down, input shaping, retraction, pressure advance. Volumetric speed calibration. There we go. Measure with calipers. So I'm not going to use calipers. I'm just going to go with a ruler. And we said it was 35. Calculator. $35 times 0.5, 17 point. Wait, what? I don't think I used that setting. I think I used something else. Bear with me a second, guys. It's really hard to think while the CPAP's running so loud. That's better. I've just intervened on the CPAP because it's way overkill anyway, and I've dropped it back to 70% instead of 100. Okay. So according to the measurements, if you were to do the basic standard without changing anything, it's 5 plus 19 times 0.5. But I didn't use the base settings. I used something else, so I started off higher. What did I start off at? I started off at that's what it was. So I need to plus 20. That makes more sense. And I closed calculator, didn't I? So I need to start at 0.5 times 35 millimeters plus 20 37.5 is where things started to fall over. So we need to set our maximum flow rate at, let's say 36, to give ourselves a little bit of margin. So I'm going to make a note of that. In fact, Nick, can I ask you a giant favor, my friend? Can you please send me a DM to say that the ender is 36 millimeters cubed? Because the CPAP is driving me nuts at this point. I don't normally print with the doors open and it stay in the room. That should have probably also changed filament by now too. Why are you not changing filament? Let's put me out of my misery. Stop print. Let's go 100 mils on Z and 100 mils negative on Y. No, positive on Y, Phil. And I am going to have to go through and do all the setup for this again. I don't know what I've done to mess this up because it was working. You've seen the print. But it's just not changing colors at this point. So I'm going to have to go through and step by step, when I can concentrate and think for myself, set that back up again. So I'm going to call it a day on that one, I think, and treat that YOLO as a big fail. Now, what else was I planning to do today? Ender 5, we've got speed calibrated, so that's fine. Put its bed back so I don't do anything silly to it. That's all fine. Bring up chat. Hi LTX. Oh, Kegel, when I did the measurement, I was actually just referring back to you doing it by 0.9. I'd already come back a little bit in terms of the amount. So, which extruder are you using, Phil? I heard the Apus 2 is a beast. Yes, the Apus is the extruder, and the hot end is the Rapido to ultra high flow F in the F variant, which means it's all hardened on the inside so that it can print glass fiber, carbon fiber, and all that sort of stuff without getting all torn up. I'm just reading through this. Oh, LTX is saying hi to everybody. So, where am I at? Okay, let's give you a little bit of news in terms of what's going to be happening. With the new year, my daughter is going to be going from pre-kindy into kindy, and she's going to be doing 3 days a week, but her days are changing. Apus 2 is a beast. I have that extruder on 2 different machines. It's really underrated, and it's really hard to find good mounts for it because it just never really gained traction. Everybody seems to like the DIY stuff or the Bondtech extruders. So, but yeah, my daughter's changing her from Thursdays, which is Thursday now my time, which is why I'm able to stream, to she's going to be at kindy from Monday to Wednesday. That means that the best time for me to stream is going to be Tuesdays my time, which is Monday nights in the US. And it's still the middle of the night for the UK, so I don't have too many people who watch that live anyway. Hi, Greenie. I know you try to when you can. So that's going to be a change that's coming up. Exactly when I'll make that change, I haven't got 100% nailed down. And there's a really good chance that for the Christmas New Year season, I won't be able to stream because this would be my Christmas day. Because Christmas is on a Thursday, so I won't be able to stream during my Christmas Day or my New Year's Day because of family commitments. Questionable choices. Discord pic. You sent a Discord pic. Let me have a look. I've got your DM, Nick. Thank you. Dude. Do I show this? Yes, I will, but I'm going to full screen it to make sure. Now, when I was on Armor 3D's chat the other day, I was kind of annoyed. Up until very recently, all the shopping malls in and around Perth, to sit on Santa's lap was free. In most cases, getting a photograph if you did it yourself was free. And even sometimes the mall themselves would pay for you to have like a Polaroid style one picture for free. This year, that's all gone for some reason. All of the shopping centers, the shopping malls have decided to go mercenary. And as I was walking through the mall, I was on chat and I said, wow, they want 55 Australian dollars for sitting on Santa's lap and getting a photograph. You can't sit on Santa's lap unless you're getting a photograph, which is a bit harsh because all the kids locally have been used to be able to just go, hi Santa, sit on his lap for 30 seconds, tell him what they want for Christmas and bail. And they had a pretty quick turnover, so it wasn't really impacting anything. Obviously, for some reason, they've changed all the policies. I am going to show you now what Questionable Choices has sent me in response to that. And yeah, that's one way to deal with it. So yeah, let's move on from that. Not that one, not that one, not that one. No, you don't want that one. That one. Me. Okay. Santa must have gone on strike. If you're a cute female between 35 and 55, you can sit on my lap and get a photo for free. Oh, dude. Could you sound any seedier? Besides 35, that's aiming pretty high for you. I've seen pictures of you, dude. So I'm going to minimize that before I accidentally dox anybody on Discord. So I know that I'm cutting this a little shorter than I ordinarily would. I am getting a headache from the CPAP and all the running around I had to do before stream to get this thing actually going was also hit me pretty hard. For those of you who don't know, I have a tumor in my head. It's not going to kill me. It's not cancer. It's just a benign tumor. But if I push myself too hard, it does start to give me headaches. So I am going to say to you guys that I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to say thank you all for joining me, unless anybody else has got anything they'd like to share. The real round shady stood. Okay. So I'm going to call it right now, guys. I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. And next week, we'll try another YOLO with the box turtle. At this point in time, it has to be down to something I've done that I didn't get right. And I'm just going to go through it step by step by step, offline when I can think straight and get it all ready. And we'll do another YOLO. So you're right, 35 would be shooting pretty low on the age bar. I have a kid that's 30. You're just sounding more and more seedy at this point, Brad. So I have been Phil, I have been the Down Under Maker. It's time for me to hop on out of here. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Bye.